Losing trust with your real estate agent, it's a big thing, real or fake. Stay tuned. We're going to talk all about trusting your real estate agent.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Billy Bob,
Good morning. How are you?
good yourself.
I'm good. We experienced I think a big moment over the weekend. Both representing buyers, both talking to sellers, and I can't underestimate how big a trust is as an ingredient to success.
It's massive. And you know what? It also, if people think they've got a problem with their real estate agent, agents working within their offices also have that same issue. You want to have that enormous amount of trust from the beginning to the end, all the way around. And I can't say that speed and trust are a very, very similar commodity, and they're probably the most powerful commodities that we have to sell, because
Yeah,
when you're selling something worth $2 million, $4 million, $500,000, you got to have that trust with that person that you're opposite. So commission's almost irrelevant when you talk about trust.
yeah. I've got some amazing facts for you this morning. I look forward to sharing these in a moment. But communication is probably the biggest one that builds trust. That sets you up for success or a successful pathway. They say 70% of sellers say regular updates is what the foundation of trust is. 70% of sellers say regular updates, regular communication. And here's a good quote for you: "Silence breeds suspicion. No news feels like bad news."
Silence breeds
Breeds
suspicion.
suspicion. No news feels like bad news.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
So
wow.
true, though. Sometimes it's the
So
no updates. They're the important ones.
So, Billy, when should a client that's buying or selling with an agent hear from their real estate agent? What's the frequency? I think we should also cover rentals as well on this, by the way. But let's talk about buying and selling. What sort of frequency is a good agent? So, if I see you at an open house
Yeah.
and I tell you to keep an eye out for properties for me to buy, what's because you sort of, again, you're losing trust when you don't hear from these guys. What's the frequency?
Yeah, that's right. Our agents will be in touch with open home attendees same afternoon, after the open, and then circle back for another touch on Monday in case we miss you. So that's just a courtesy of a follow-up to see what your thoughts are. Even if the property is not for you, it's nice to just have the phone call and see if we can help you find something else similar.
Yep.
The frequency of then having received an offer, you want to make sure that all those attendees that have been through the property have been notified. So that's, pretty much immediately, particularly when the owners are considering an offer. But coming back to people with speed and consistency as well, not just being a one-off hit, that's really important.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a conversation on Saturday. If you just tuned in, we're talking about trust this morning, and I had a conversation with a buyer, and the property was withdrawn from sale, and it's funny that their recollection is different to the reality. So I think sometimes, again, documenting. Um, you good old, like, I don't mind hanging up from a conversation and actually documenting, thanks for the chat, and these are our next moves, and document what happened in the chat. I think that's a big trusting as well. I know, Billy, you're really good at showing correspondence without the name of the person on it. So if you're dealing with a seller or an agent within the office, you'll actually you'll document that process. That wins a lot of trust.
Transparency wins every time. So you can create like a source, or you can create real data. This leads into my next fact. 84% of sellers trust an agent who uses market evidence, and that's there's no fluff around that. So that's the reason why.
Say that again. 84%
of sellers trust agents who use market evidence. Confidence is good, but proof is better.
It's massive, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So what have you noticed best practice? So we've talked about, how buyers, if you're selling a property for someone, when would they hear back from you? Is it weekly, daily, hourly? What's your correspondence like?
Well, I pitched in a presentation last week that the owner will hear from me or my team every day throughout the listing campaign without fail, and they can take $200 off the commission every day they don't hear from me and mark it down. So every day there will be an update, and that's not to say every day there's a new offer coming in, or every day we found a new buyer, but sometimes it's the small updates that are the most important. So
Yes.
there is always a form of a text message going back and forth, or a phone call, or a catch-up email, something going back and forth, something for them to look at.
Business
Every
day
day.
or every day?
Well, Saturday and Sunday is my business day as well. Sunday I had 4 opens yesterday, so it's literally every day.
That's it. Mate, how can you not be impressed with your realtor when they're doing something like that?
It's literally every day. I mean, it's a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? But it builds trust, and I think if you're a seller and you're putting your keys and your property in the hands of someone to represent you, that's massive. You can't underestimate that sort of privilege. So it's big.
And I do have to say, a good agent is working on your property every day, but there's and reporting it. So I
Yeah.
think sometimes again you got your agents that are doing the work, but they're not mirroring that back to a vendor. In rentals, Billy, when should you hear if your if your property's being managed well, and there is a tenant in place? When should you hear from your property manager? Once a year, once every 6 months, once every 3 months? What does that look like?
Yeah, I sometimes I feel like no news is great news with rentals. It's like, leave me alone. Don't
Yeah,
contact me.
yeah, that's effective.
Yeah, yeah. I think it depends on the landlord. People appreciate different, styles of communication. I know with our rentals, we do a really good job of just touching base with our landlords every month at the end of the month when their big owners payments go out.
Yeah.
And included in that is, a statement. It's a market update. It's a piece from you as the business owner as to how rentals are tracking. So I think those statements get read and they're received really well. I know from experience when I worked in rentals under Cleo, there would always be phone call correspondence going back and forth for the big items, things like new rental negotiations or new lease negotiations, tenants moving in, tenants moving out, all of those things. And then, once things settle again, it does quieten down. It's not as frequent as sales.
If your property's for rent, when should you hear from your when and how should you hear from your property manager?
After the open home, via SMS, email, phone call, all 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a stressful time. There's some of these properties worth $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, and their income stopped or stopping. So these landlords, our landlords, are really on edge when that happens naturally. So you want to have that guidance. Can I hear a shocking example of trust lost?
Yeah. Have you got one?
There you go. What's this?
Lisa Novak. Consistency builds trust. Every single action, tell the vendor or landlord. Lisa's probably one of the best in the office I've seen at doing that, and it's where I got a lot of my training from.
She over communicates too much.
But a landlord's never got angry for it. Never, never, never. When have you ever got angry for an update to say there is no update? We're still working.
I've got to say, a mega communicator. Anyone who's worked with Lisa will say that. Landlord, tenant, property manager, salesperson, seller, buyer, anyone, mega communicator.
Yeah.
She called herself something the other day that I liked, a woodpecker. It builds
Relentless.
trust.
But
It
I
builds
reckon
trust.
my
Yeah.
observation from working in Lisa's team, this would be her one of secret ingredients.
Yeah, the woodpecker. Well, I think we've covered trust nicely today, and I do have to vouch for the industry today. This is a relentless, ruthless business that if you don't have trust and you aren't acting ethically, you are out within months, maybe even weeks, of the industry. So I think people out there that are a little bit dubious about agents or things like that. We are a massively heavily regulated industry these days. It's a wonderful bunch of people, hardworking people in the business, and your odds are, if your agent's got runs on the board in your local area, they're great.
Yeah, 88. Here's my last one. 88% of people trust online reviews as much as referrals. Proof beats promises. So that reputation speaks really loud volume.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. If they've got the runs on the board, they've got to be doing something right. They've got to be doing
That's right.
something right.
Yeah. There you go. Great show.
Billy, thank you. Billy, I trust you.
Thank you, Mark. Trust you too. Well, I guess if you wonder where it went wrong, have a look at that this morning. And I reckon it's easier to spot than it is, to be confused about. I reckon deep down.
Look, the layers that we've spoken about this morning, I think you're hitting if one is hitting every one of those, irrelevant to what business that you're in, you are destined for success. It's such hard work, but there you go. That's what the successful cats out there are doing.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Thanks, Billy. Cheers. Have a great day, great week, everyone. Love you. See you. Bye.